Yoo-hoo, it's Luhu. This is Cindy Young. I'm the designer behind Luhu Stitches, and I'm here with another Flosstube in 15. All right, welcome back. Today I'm going to talk about how I get from idea to paper. So I'm going to start out. This was from a question from Merritt Crawford, and I'm sorry, I keep stumbling over my words, and hopefully it gets smoother as I go on. All right, so this is a question from Merritt Crawford. Hi, Merritt. And the question is, how do I go from drawing to cross-stitch chart? I'm paraphrasing. What is my process and the best path for someone wanting to jump in? And I think she was kind of asking, what tools do I use? So last week I talked a little bit about where I get my ideas, and then once I have some ideas, maybe I've picked a theme, maybe I need to design something patriotic, 4th of July, Memorial Day, Labor Day, they're all coming up and people are interested in, they want to stitch something patriotic. So I start with a drawing. And I just have everything laying on the floor here. Now it's in my lap, so that should be easier. So I start with a drawing, and I have to tell you, usually my drawings, the purpose of my drawings is not to create an amazing work of art. The purpose of my drawings is to get my size and my shape. And then I work out the refinements as I chart. So first of all, last July, I released Every Heart Beats True. This was the basic drawing, which is pretty close to, I should have grabbed the finished piece, but I didn't, which is pretty close to the finished piece. Of course I didn't grab the finished thing. Then, I am pretty old school, so let me just go over some of the tools real quick that I use. I use pencils, both your yellow #2 Ticonderoga pencils and colored pencils. My colored pencil of choice are Prisma colors. They are what I started using in college, and I just think they give a really good color. I have read some reviews that they aren't quite the quality they used to be, and I would have to agree. I have old pencils from the 80s in here, and I have some newer pencils in here, and I can always tell the newer ones, I go through them faster. I still get a nice color, but I go through them faster, and which I guess is probably what the point is. They want you to go through them faster. Anyhow, and then I use my handy dandy, I love these #2 pencils with my eraser. They're just my favorite. In college, you go into drawing class and the teacher would be, you need to go get an HB pencil. You need to have a hard number. I can't remember what the hard pencil is. You need to, all these pencils, you need to have charcoal and blah, blah, blah. I think every artist goes through this. They find the things that they like the best to work with. And these are my favorites right here. And sometimes I will work with crayons, but that's very rare. These are kind of like the pencil version of crayons for me. Prismacolor pencils. A little on the pricey side, but really, really good. Okay, then I have a couple different papers I work on. This is just a basic drawing paper and actually this pad is super old. It's like 30 years old. I had a big stockpile and I've been going through stuff. I use tissue paper so that if I need to trace something, I do it off here. Usually that's lettering. I'm tracing lettering. Sometimes I will trace an object to get the idea of the shape, and then I'll go and I'll draw it. And then my other favorite material to work on is Bristol board with a vellum surface. I like vellum a lot. Vellum is a tracing paper. It's made from sheepskins. But I love the translucency of it. I love the way it just works. And so after I've made my drawing on one of these three things, I have my pad of vellum grid paper and I lay that over my drawing, and that's when I'm working out the shapes. So for instance, I wanted the ribbons on either side here to be exactly the same, so that there was balance, and same with the buntings here. I didn't necessarily want the flowers to be the same, but I wanted all the ribbons and the bunting to be balanced. And so, you know, when you're drawing freehand, it always cracks me up. Oh, you can draw a circle. No, I can't. Or you can draw a straight line. No, I can't. I can draw a straight line if I use a ruler. I can draw a circle if I use a compass. But what people who draw do is they practice and they get in the habit of what a circle looks like. But I can't draw a perfect circle. And so once you put stuff on grid paper, what you're working on is getting that balance so that I'm charting things exactly the same on both sides. Sometimes I don't want things to be perfectly balanced. So the leaves here were balanced pretty much, but these flowers weren't balanced. I needed my heart to be balanced, obviously. So, you know, I picked one side that best represented what I wanted, and that's what I did on the other side in reverse. I hope that makes sense. So that's my next step, is doing this. This may not be the way that everybody works. This is the way I work. I know I have a designer friend that draws on his iPad, and he's super talented. You probably know him or are familiar with him, Autumn Lane Stitchery, Aaron Houston. And he does everything, as far as I know, Aaron, correct me if I'm wrong, electronically. Now, that's a direction I'm intending on going. I have asked Santa to bring me a new iPad with a pencil. So I think he's bringing it. I have a really awesome Santa. Anyhow, so this is kind of the step before I put it into my program. Okay, I'm going to talk about programs a little bit. So I do have a PC that I work on, and the program that I use to download my cross stitch charts, or to chart in, is WinStitch. They also, if you're a Mac user, I think they're the only software that has a program that will work with Mac. That's Ursa software, if you look it up. The other more prominent stitch programs out there that I'm aware of are PC Stitch and Pattern Maker. I have heard rumors that if you are interested in pursuing this, like Mary, you said you and your daughter are, I don't think there is support for those right now. I know Pattern Maker is no longer supporting their software. I'm not sure about PC Stitch. If you go to Lord Lebidian, and I will have a link down here to Lord Lebidian. He has a post, and I will link that particular post. He has a post about all of the softwares out there with pricing, and he gives a little write-up on each software. I didn't read it in depth because I have my software that I'm using and I'm happy with. That'd be a really good place to go for that. After I have charted my designs, and I thought about how could I show you that, and I thought that's more of a how-to video, and I'm talking more about the process. So I'm not going to do a how-to video about how I chart in WinStitch, and I'm sure they're out there. So if you want that, go maybe search for that on YouTube. Anyhow, after I have got things charted in WinStitch, I export as a PDF file my chart. And WinStitch includes the floss list with that, which sometimes I'm happy with and sometimes I'm not. Something to keep in mind if you are interested in doing this and finding that perfect program, which there is no perfect program. When talking with other designers, pretty much every program has its glitch that frustrates you, or it just doesn't do as much as you want it to do. And so you just have to find that program that you are comfortable with. A lot of these programs do offer like a free trial, but you are limited in what you can play around with in them. So I've kind of given you the top 3 that I'm aware of. And but WinStitch, I will tell you, very, very responsive when you need help. I think it's kind of just one guy out there, he's doing this, and so he gets back to you really quickly. I first purchased mine as a disc, and then I got a Mac and I purchased it as a download, and then my Mac died and I got a PC laptop, Lenovo Yoga. That's really hard to say. So Lenovo is the brand. Yoga is the laptop that I purchased. I hope that made sense. Anyhow, he's very, very responsive. And when you go on their site, you can decide to kind of pay for a lifetime. You get all the updates. So there's some other features with it too that I haven't explored as much, but I should. Anyhow, all right, sorry. Once I download it as a PDF, then I go into my publishing program and I create my chart. And I actually use Microsoft Publisher still. I have some other programs that I'm testing out. I don't use Photoshop. I was trained before computers. So my learning curve on any program in a computer is pretty steep. And all I have to do is I have to get my daughter to sit down with me for an extended amount of time and have her just help me learn the process. Because what happens is I get in there and I get super frustrated and I want it to do something. I'm like, well, I know how to do this in Publisher. Anyhow, that's my story and I'm sticking to it. So I use Microsoft Publisher. It works well for me. But you know something, things are always changing. And I want to do more and create a better chart product for you, the Stitcher. So sometimes that means exploring new programs and teaching an old dog new tricks. I'm not an old dog, but I'm kind of a middle-aged dog. So, and I could stand to learn a few new tricks. Anyway, so that's my process. I hope that Merritt, that was helpful. If you guys have more questions, I would love to hear them. I'm sorry I didn't have a lot to show you today, just kind of my tools and what I do. Don't forget about the fundraiser. Go be a Raindrop. You can go to my website. That's linked below and in my Etsy shop. The chart that I'm selling, raising money for the Red Cross for Western Wildfire Fund, is called Showers of Blessing. And slowly but surely, I'm getting it stitched in between other stuff. And so really appreciate it if you would go purchase that and help out folks who've been devastated by wildfire out here in the West this year. And there are some new fires that have just happened. So more people with homes in danger and that sort of thing. All right, so that's it. We're at 15 minutes. Thank you. Thank you. I love thumbs up. I love comments. You know, hit the bell, subscribe and hit the bell so you're notified when I upload new videos. And I hope you guys all have a great weekend. As you can see, I'm sitting by my fire. It's cooled down enough here where I'm at that I've got the fire going, and it's kind of nice. It's nice and toasty. I'm actually a little bit warm. I'm kind of close to the fire right now. Anyhow, I'm going to go have a cool drink after this. Anyway, happy stitching, everyone. We'll see you next week.